Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Esther and this is Esther's Diaries. In short, Queen Esther's Diaries, okay? Welcome. Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. On this video, I'll be showing you how or giving you some tips on how to prepare for your German job interview, even with your little German proficiency. How can you really make that work out for you? How can you use it to the best of your ability? You don't have to be a profi at German speaking to get a job. Like some of you know my story. I started working when I didn't really understand a lot of German. So I'm going to be sharing with you some of the top tips that helped me in my time, some of the tips that I did not take into consideration early enough and later on found out that I should have done that, and I hope it helps you, right? But first of all, we're going to do the German word of the day. So the German word of the day today, the German word of the day is called, how do I say it? Okay, it's the word das Vorstellungsgespräch. Yeah, das Vorstellungsgespräch. So das is the article, like I've told you a lot of times. There's a der, die, das. These are the three articles of German, and Vorstellungsgespräch is the word itself. Vorstellungsgespräch means job interview. It is a word used only for job interviews. It's actually a very compound word having like three parts, but it has two main parts, which is Vorstellungs and Gespräch. Yeah, Vorstellung is a word that means to introduce, and Gespräch means discussion. So when you say Vorstellungsgespräch, it tends to mean an introduction, a discussion about introducing yourself, something like that. But in other words, it means job interview in German. Okay, let's go. So my first tip for today is learn to introduce yourself in German. Now, introducing yourself in German is actually an A-level German. It is really easy. Trust me, I know a lot of people feel that German is difficult, but introducing yourself in German is one of the easy parts, of the really easy parts of German. Just the main things you need to know is, how do I say my name? So you have to say your name, your age, your origin, where you currently live, and your qualifications. Okay, these are like simple stuff. Depending on the job you're applying for, you might want to add a little more stuff to that introduction part, but this is basic introduction. Your name, where you're from, your age, what did I say? Your location, where you live currently, and your qualifications. Okay, let me try to do that in German. Okay, let's go. Also, hallo, ich heiße Esther und ich komme aus Nigeria. Ich wohne aktuell in Deutschland, Heidelberg. Und was noch? What does I say? Your qualification, yeah. Ich bin ein Gesundheits- und Krankenschwester. Yeah, I think that was actually easy. So it's something that we all can do. Please ignore the noise if you're hearing it. I beg you, ignore that noise. So it's something that you can do, and remember, the biggest trick to every point I'm going to give you now is to write them down so that you can read it to yourself again and again at facing the mirror. Mind you, there's a lot I want to teach you about learning German, but I already have a video about 10 tips about learning German. 10 tips that will help you learn German faster, or as fast as I learned it, or faster than I learned it in a period of 8 months. You can check up here. I'm going to tag the video right there so that you can go and see that video separately. Mind you, again, this video is not teaching you how to pull through with your job interview. I'm only teaching you how to manage your German, your little, let's say, poor ein bisschen Deutsch German, how to manage that and make it work for you in your job interview and make you sound like a pro actually, and when you're not even a pro. Yet. So my second tip would be to write down the possible questions you are yet to expect in this interview. you. So on the internet there are a bunch and a lot of materials on job interviews and what to expect to be asked, how to position yourself, and la la la. Now take all of those tips and transcribe it to yourself. Like, look at how it works for you and transcribe it in German. Okay, so you look for the questions that you are most likely to be asked depending on the job position you're applying for. I speak mainly to nurses, so if you know any questions that could be asked, they'll be asked you in the nursing space, write them down, write down the answers, and read that yourself again and again and again, and that will save you, that will help you, that will go a long way to helping your German on its own. But on the other hand, it will boost your confidence even when you're speaking it, because you have read it to yourself, you've heard yourself, you've corrected your pronunciations, and you kind of get used to the words. So my third tip actually comes to a short story. So in July or June of 2018, I'm not so sure anymore, this was about 6 months after I had moved to Germany, and I was looking for a placement for my practicum, or what you call in English, for my internship. So a friend introduced me to this hospital a little far away from where I live and asked me to go for, he called in, told them my case, that I was already a nurse and la, and I needed a job. And she said, oh, that she doesn't mind, I could come over and do a Vorstellungsgespräch with her. And I dumbly at that time just went to the place, just like that, and I didn't think it. I don't even know what I was thinking. I just went, and on getting there I realized, that was when it occurred to me that I was not ready when I got there. Can't you see? Well guys, so anyway, before I got there I already had my introduction, so I felt like introduction was the main thing. My letter already had the main things. I already had the cover letter that had what I say, what would I call it, that had my purpose and everything. So I felt like, you're going to read the cover letter, I would just have to introduce myself and you tell me if you're ready or not, because the placement I was asking for at that time was not going to be paid. So I felt like, you're gaining, so just give it a me, okay, it's fine, I'm gonna do it, you know. And I got there, introduced myself great, then she started doing reading and talking to me, and at that moment, was at this critical moment that I realized that I did not practice how to listen to Germans talking. So the whole time I have been doing my German course. At that time I was in my B level. I was doing my German course and I was only getting used to hearing myself and reading and writing. I had not learned how to listen to German, to listen to German, especially when a German is speaking. Not just German when your fellow B2 classmate is speaking it, but like to listen to a German talk freely and understand what they are saying. I had not practiced that and I was in trouble, because I promise you that after I introduced myself, the only thing I understood is yeah or nine. I tell you, I didn't get it. So if she insulted me, I would have nodded and told her, thank you ma, you are very right, I understand. I understand. I tell you, it was terrible. It was so terrible. Probably she noticed because I was blown. I was like wow, I was frozen. But anyway, this is me trying to tell you, please practice listening to German. Like I said in my previous video on my 10 tips on how to learn German fast, I gave on that video many ways to learn how to listen to German. One of the ways, like I mentioned in that video, is through TV shows and movies. So, or just talking to people that are actually Germans, okay? It will help you know how they talk and do it like more often. It's not just like a one-off thing. You have to do it often and on until you get it right. My next tip is learn to repeat a question before you answer it. I learned this one like a year and a half later. Learn to repeat a question before you answer it. So when they ask you something like, I'm trying to think of a random question you could be asked in an interview, where have you worked before? You could be like, speaking of my job, my work experience. In that way, you are trying to confirm with your interviewer that I understood you, right? Remember, your interviewer knows that your German is not good. So he or she is not expecting you to like speak perfect German, like blah 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 blah. No, you also have to be trusting enough to kind of return that question in your answer, so that you are sure that you're on the same page, so that when they ask you for job experience, you're not talking about your family life because you did not understand what they were saying. Okay, so remember, when they ask you a question in German and you feel like you've understood it, even when you feel like you understood like 50% of it, then re-ask that question again and use it to answer the question. If when you re-ask that question, she says, or he or she says, no, that's what I'm talking about, you could now say, please explain what I didn't understand you properly. Then you get. In that way, you're not sounding dumb, you're not sounding unlearned. That way you sound more confident of yourself, even though your German is not at the best at that time. And on to my fifth and last tip for this video is ask questions. Kind of related to my previous tip, but this one is going to save your life a lot. Ask questions. I also have a short story to this one. So when I moved in here, I got to meet this agency. It's actually a German sponsored agency. I can't explain exactly how they function right now, but they help foreigners, immigrants they help immigrants prepare themselves for a job position. Okay, I didn't even know that existed until someone told me I should just go there. So I went there, and the lady pretty much redid my CV, redid my cover letter for me, and all of this at no cost. And I forgot to ask questions properly, because I remember we did that, and she said, okay, so she will start applying for jobs. So she started applying to different hospitals on my behalf. I was sitting right there with her, but I wasn't proactive enough to ask, what hospital is this? What will I be doing there? What department are you applying for? I didn't, and because of it, I landed in a department that I had never seen before. It was kind of very weird. Even though I finally enjoyed it, I was glad I was there finally in the end. But at first, I was totally confused on how I landed there. But like I said, all of this can be solved by just asking questions. So just ask questions, and they will be answered. And remember, like I said, your interviewer knows that you are not a native German. So there are some times you might ask if you can substitute some words in English or any language that both of you are conversant with. Okay, don't just throw him or her any word from any language that they don't even have an idea exists. That would be very insensitive. Yeah. So like I said, if you want more tips on how to learn your German faster, I have made a whole long video on 10 awesome tips that helped me in my time, and I believe will surely help you in your time. Like, that video is everything. Like, I don't even have any other thing to add to that video. So please check it up on my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you loved it, because I loved it. I don't know about you, but I love making it. Okay guys, all right, have a lovely day guys, and see you in my next video. Bye bye.